Okay, everybody, these are all the constructions you need to do for chapter 1. The first one that we're going to do is constructing a line segment that's congruent to a given line segment. So on your test, you would be provided with something like this, a line segment AB. Okay, you could use whatever letters you want if you're creating it on your own. So first, start out, draw a line segment of any size, and label the 2 points. Okay, if at any point you need to pause the video, you need more time to catch up, please do so. Then take your compass. The gold piece of your compass should go on A. And then you need to find a letter or a hole that matches up with B. When you find the one that matches up, either jot it off to the side or make sure that you remember it. Okay, remember on my compass, I don't have letters, I just have the number at top. So mine would be 201. Once you have it, make a little arc and you can move your compass out of the way. That's basically how we measure that size of the line segment. So over on the side, or you could do it below, make point C. And we're just going to repeat that process. Gold piece of your compass goes on C, except now we're just going to make an arc of the same size. So I'm still on 201. You use the same letter you did before. Then, using your compass as a straight edge, connect from C to that arc. And then we just need to fill in that other endpoint, CD. Okay, so in this particular construction, what we did was we made line segment AB congruent to line segment CD. The next construction is constructing an angle congruent to a given angle. For this particular one, anytime you draw an arc, make sure you write down the letter that you use. It's going to be important in this case. You'll need to start off with an angle. I'm going to use an acute one. So I have angle ABC. Once you have it, and make sure you use your straight edge to draw the 2 rays, gold piece of your compass goes on B. Anytime we do something with an angle, your first step is to put the gold piece on the vertex of that angle. You're going to make an arc, and I'm going to color code mine actually, of whatever size, remember the letter, so that it intersects both. Okay, so remember I have numbers, so my number was 140. When you have that, you're going to line up the gold piece with the bottom intersection, and you're going to find a letter that lines up with the top intersection. Okay, and try and make this as accurate as you possibly can. When you have it, again, remember the number and make a little swoop. Okay, and just so we can see the different colors on this one, let me trace over that. And I'll do it in blue so we can have it color-coded. Okay, to continue, we now need to make an angle congruent to this one. So draw the bottom ray of this angle. I'm going to label it with the letters at the end. Gold piece of your compass goes on that vertex, and we repeat the process. So before I did the red arc, then the blue, or I did 140, then 148, you're going to do whatever letters you did in the same order. So I'm going to go back to red so they match. Okay, I know you're doing yours in all pencil probably. And you're going to draw that first arc. Compass goes on the bottom intersection. Now you're going to go back to whatever you used for your second arc and make a little swoop through. Okay, we're almost done. Last step, use your straight edge to connect the vertex through that intersection. And now you have 2 congruent angles. I'm just going to go and label these D, E, and F. Okay, so we have angle ABC is congruent to angle DEF. Okay, the next construction is to construct the perpendicular bisector of a line segment. In class we talked about the 75% rule, which we're going to use. What that basically means, and how I showed you in class, is very lightly with your pencil. So I'm just going to do it in yellow here so it's light. estimate where you think the halfway point of this line segment is. That's ultimately where our bisector should appear. Once you've done that, put the gold piece of your compass on A and find a letter that's about 75% of the way through. So this would be 25, 50, and let's say that's 75. It doesn't have to be exact. Here you can see mine doesn't fit any longer. As long as it's close enough, that's good. Okay, once you have it, remember what letter you're using and make a really big backward C. Then move the gold piece of your compass over to B. Do the same arc, so you see I'm not even changing the size of mine. Really big forward C. Okay. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to erase my little yellow marks, okay, since that was just our planning. The last step would be to connect these two intersections. Use your straight edge to make it accurate from top to bottom. Okay, and I'm going to fix mine so it becomes a little more exact. And there we have our perpendicular bisector. So I'm just going to mark it off on the picture for this one. That means AM, we'll put an M in here, would be congruent to MB. Okay, the last construction in chapter 1 is constructing an angle bisector. So again, 75% rule. So once I have my angle drawn, I'm going to estimate this 50% with a little yellow line that I'm going to then erase. I said before, anytime you do something with an angle, you're going to start off with a gold piece on the vertex. And just like when we did congruent angles, big swoop, okay, that way we have two intersections. Now for this particular one, you don't need to write down what you use, but I'll do it anyway so we get in the habit. Gold piece of your compass goes on the bottom intersection, and now your job is to find a letter that's about 75% of the way through. So 25 would be about here, our yellow line would be about 50, and 75 would be about here. When you have it, big kind of upside down C. Remember that letter. Okay, so I used 127, you use whatever letter you had. Now go to that top intersection, do the same thing, except it's going to be an upward C now. And then you can move your compass out of the way for a second. Before I do my final step, I'm going to erase my little yellow sketching. I don't need that anymore. And then I'm going to connect from B through the first intersection, through the second, and now my angle has been bisected. So that means, if I put a D in here, angle ABD is congruent to angle DBC.